This is Frankie Charlee.
And I am Charlie House. And you are now listening to our podcast, Are They Trash?
I've been all around the world, so many different guys in the club, yeah. These garbage guys are so fine. They're always blowing my mind.
I wanted the spring roll on the table to swallow me up.
But you'd already swallowed it.
But I've already demolished it. Welcome
Welcome, guys,
to episode 1
of
Are They Trash? This is episode 1, which is all about independent women.
So, as a business owner, obviously I'm quite an independent woman, and you're an independent woman as well, aren't you?
Absolutely.
In the past, friends and I, and Frankie as well, have all experienced that maybe being an independent woman might put men off when you're dating. That's quite a controversial subject, because I think sometimes when you mention it in front of a man, they're like, no, definitely not. Sometimes it can be a little bit of a put off.
The world that we live in today, it's kind of one of those worlds of where, look, I'm going to say it, a lot of women do expect the men to pay for things, to give them this, give them that. They don't really want to do much, but they want to receive a lot more in return. And I think that that's just because of Instagram and the world that we live in. And I think then it kind of puts a bit of a negative mindset on women and how they just expect. So the idea of having an independent woman is ideal, right? You know, they want to have an independent woman, someone that can provide, someone that can kind of
got their own money, got their own life, contribute,
pay for themselves, etc.
Yeah.
So the idea of having an independent woman is definitely what a man would want. However, there's different types of independent women.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
That's more the topic that we want to talk about. So Charlie and I are very independent as people. We are definitely independent women. We've got our shit together. We've got our own direction in life. And I think it's a mixture of that and our strong personalities that then we can find is off-putting for men, because maybe it's a little bit challenging for them.
Yeah. So in experience, I think that's where it, for me personally, it's having an opinion, having your own life, your own goals and aspirations and things that you want to achieve in life. And it's kind of, they don't feel like they're needed. And it's that word that I've had that word crop up a couple of times when well, you don't really need me. And I'm like, oh, no, I didn't need you. Like, I wanted you. Yeah, I wanted to be with you. I wanted our lives, you know, to fit together. But obviously there's a compromise that has to be made, isn't there? You know, when you're there for them with their work struggles or when they're coming home from work stressed, but are they there to support you through your work and things like that? So yeah, I think in the past that's definitely a thing that I've experienced.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think it is kind of a bit of a bugbear of mine. Look, I live on my own, as I've previously mentioned, in London. I pay a lot of money to have an independent lifestyle. And for me, I think that needs to be matched by whoever you're dating or getting to know, or whoever you're with. Don't get me wrong, when you're building like an empire, a partnership, wherever you're building together, there's going to be times when others, you know, one might be leading or the other. But I think sort of the basics of like getting started, you've got to have certain kind of
well, in the first stages of dating, that's when you're really seeing traits of that person, aren't you?
Yeah.
So for instance, if you're not seeing the support from them for your life, or the respect, or even just like the manners, like for them being well mannered, like holding the door open for you, little
dating.
Things like that, where definitely traditional. I'm very
yeah.
But modern day mixed with traditional, definitely. But those little things are all snippets into what type of person they are, how they've been brought up, and what they also expect in a relationship.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. I think there's a fine line. Look, we're not necessarily talking about materialistic things here.
Yeah, no.
Like, you know, obviously, everyone likes to nice house, nice car, have nice things. But, you know, as long as you are independent and you have those things in life, you know, then the rest can be built. But there's that element of kind of physical things.
The physical things,
But then you've got, like you say, then you've obviously got the manners that they don't cost anything, the traditional side of things. I mean, I know for sure I've been on dates back in the day, and then more recent dates where I just have non-negotiables now. Yeah, I'm just like, absolutely.
No. That's really funny to say that.
Giving me anxiety thinking of certain things. I'll be on a date like, oh my God, where's the door? Red flag.
I was literally just thinking to myself then, it's really funny you should say that, because recently, probably this year, one of the best things about being, you know, 30 plus.
No more lying, Charlie. They know.
Is that you do have these boundaries and expectations in yourself. And as you were just saying that, recently I've had conversations with my friends about, you know, like this time last year when I was dating guys, I would have let things slide.
Yeah.
And now it's like, wow, no, definitely not. Like,
absolutely
that would
not. Get in the bin.
So I've took to Twitter to get an insight into dating as an independent woman, and I've come across experiences from both sides. Are you ready for this?
All right, let's go.
Right, so tips on how to date an independent woman. Don't. If they don't feel like they need you, what good are they to you?
Wait, hang on a minute. If they don't feel like they need you, what good are they to you? That gives me insecure piece of shit. In the bin!
I've had someone say that to me before. Well, you don't need me. No, I don't need you. I wanted to be with you, but I don't now, thanks, bye.
Yeah, now you're in the bin. Trash. Wait, but let's just talk about that. So, I think obviously there's an element of wanting to be needed, but like you say, no one should need anyone. You should be so complete and whole on your own that anything is added value.
Yeah, added value. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, he's just threatened.
Wait till you hear this.
Go next.
So it says dating strong independent women these days is actually mad. You cheat on them one time or take them for granted once and they leave you forever. No second, no third, and no fourth chances. Madness.
Yeah.
Madness.
Whoever you are, fucking Mr.
I
Whoever.
could out him, but we won't.
We could get him on. Excuse me, Mr. That's mad though, isn't it? Because basically it's like, so now because you're independent, you'll stand up for yourself, you won't stand for shit. So then, but they're used to being able to have first, second, third, fourth chances.
Yeah.
Oh, there's
not
so
anymore.
much like in that
I know.
really pissed me off.
She saw red.
Yeah.
You've seen red flags, but you've seen red.
He would get a headlock.
Shots fired!
Yeah.
Oh, watch out, watch your back.
Yeah.
There are some good eggs out there, right? So I'm coming in with the next one, literally right directly underneath the same tweet. So this is brilliant. Men can't handle dating independent women because they feel like their egos are being stepped on.
Yeah, and I get that. I think that's not like rude like the other two. That is what it is, isn't it?
It's an
like,
ego thing.
It is an ego thing, and I think, but for me, and I don't know if you independent women out there are the same, I don't want to be Miss Constant Independent, I'll do everything all the time. But there's, like, I do it for a certain period of time, or I'll do it because that's who I am. But, of course, when you let your guard down, you want them to look after you. You want them to do all of that. But
Signs of appreciation, I think.
Yeah.
Like, it's nice to feel appreciated and for someone else to show their appreciation towards you.
Exactly. So, like, his ego and all that. But just prove yourself. Get past the 3-month rule. Don't fucking, do all the things that we've already said, do's and don'ts. We've already talked about them. And then, then I'll become little Miss Cute Inside. Maybe not. Maybe not.
Who are you trying to kiss?
I'm selling myself here, Charlie.
You're trying to get a fucking date.
Charlie, I'm
She's still trying to get me sliding her DMs. That is exactly what's going on here.
literally going to be single forever at this fucking rate, especially after this podcast. No one will dare. They'll be like, show that said red flags. She's going to headlock us, see if we do anything wrong. And we've got to pay for food.
I'm not gonna lie. Yes,
I will cook and clean for you, though.
strong, independent woman sounding like ideal wifey.
Literally. I am wifey with separate numbers.
You keep telling yourself that.
Whose side's she on? Fuck's sake, Charlie. Just because she's on the dating scene.
No, I'll be all over it.
She's all over it.
Right, this next one's good because this is what exactly this leads on so well.
No way. I obviously don't know what she's reading.
No, dating hella independent women can be confusing at the times. Like, do you want me or nah? This is
it. I do want
So
you.
if you weren't confused, guys, you know.
Now you are.
Now you are.
Okay, so dating independent women is hella confusing at times. Do you want me or not? Okay, cool. Well, yeah, that's it, isn't it? We want to keep them on their toes. We want them to...
Sometimes I love this.
They love it. So I've got a friend who literally will just give absolutely everything and anything straight away. She just really wants to be loved and wants to love and gives it all. And I'm like, babe, you've got to fucking play the game. She's like, I don't want to play games. And I'm like, no, but you've got to keep them on their toes. So that's why it's a bit confusing, because it's, especially at the beginning when you're trying to figure out who's boss. And that's really funny, that.
Yeah.
Like, who's boss, who's in charge, who's leading on what. And
That's all part of the, you know, like that discovery period of where the relationship's going to go and what roles, because everyone's got their strengths and weaknesses, hasn't they? It's all part of the fun, I think.
Exactly.
I love the way you said who's in charge, by the way. Obviously, we're who's in charge?
Obviously, you can be in charge of things like putting the bins out.
Yeah.
You know, like, there's a list of things which you can be in charge.
Pink jobs.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like putting the bins out, changing the bed. No, I don't mind cleaning. Putting the bins out is an absolute blue job, isn't
a blue job. I think cleaning the toilet's a blue job.
Yeah.
Cleaning the toilet.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, my ex, my like long time boyfriend, when I lived back home in Leeds, he had OCD, and honestly, it's the best thing in the world.
Oh, really?
He cleaned. Yeah, what a time. We should probably add that into the list of things you look for. Green flags. Do you have OCD? Could you get OCD? Because I don't want to break a nail putting the bins out. Even though I've done it for the past 5 years.
Yeah, I was going to say, strong independent woman.
Yeah. We've got Marley to put the bins out. Here's a little bin wanker. Right, next. Sorry, Marley. Love you, Ed.
Oh, where were we?
Big stretch. You said no.
So, women, from women's side point of view, this is brilliant. I signed up for sugardaddy.com and I can't even get one because I'm too independent. I don't need him, apparently.
Oh, what? So because she's so independent, she's not in need of a sugar daddy, and they want that need.
So they want the need.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
That's a whole topic in itself.
That's a whole topic in itself.
So-
We need to come back to that one.
Yeah, but what do you think about that though? Because that's mad, isn't it? Like, yeah, I think that's a whole topic in
That's
itself.
a whole topic in itself, definitely. That's really interesting.
Interesting.
Where I make decisions at work all the time, then I like to not make decisions and not be in charge at home sometimes. I want someone else to make the decisions and take control a little
like
bit.
we're going on a date, and then they say where you're going, and they just be like kind of tell you, oh yeah, it's sort of dressing heels, or it's more casual vibes, and then it's like they're just in control. And for once, as an independent woman, you don't have to be in control of that moment, and it's so special, and there's a thought process.
Yeah, and again, it goes back to the showing appreciation, doesn't it? It's like, I'm not expecting you to do everything for me or pay for everything for me, or, you know, but then when you do
make that effort, it goes a really
long
way.
Really
long way. Take note.
Take note, guys.
Take note.
So this guy...
Put the bins out.
Clean the toilet.
And do some surprise dates.
So that again leads really nicely onto this guy who's literally nailed it. He said, I don't understand why some men are so against dating independent women. Will you have to spend money on them? Probably, but most of them don't ask for much. They just want to be courted. Flowers, dinner dates, day trips, etc. If you can't afford that, then you shouldn't be dating. Lol.
Right.
He said.
First things first, what's his name? Because I'm messaging him.
Isaac.
I love that name.
Yeah,
Lovely. Isaac, we love you. Exactly.
I was zooming in. I don't. Oh, yeah, he might be a bit of your type. To be
Look.
fair. But he used the word courted.
Oh, courting. Yeah, it's a bit.
Courting, very old.
It's a bit mum. It's a bit like.
That's what my mum would say. Although, I can't read his name because then.
No, you can't. Oh yeah.
That's a bit
But that is exactly it, isn't it? Basically, that is what we've just said. I didn't obviously know that's what was coming next, but that is what we've just said. You know, it's not, we don't need like Louis Vuitton handbags every week, just every other week. No, like we are willing to pay for everything ourselves. We're willing to do it all. We're willing to be independent, but it's just nice sometimes, just the little things. It can be a £3 bunch of flowers from Tesco's, like fucking
It's the
hell.
thought that counts, isn't it?
It's the thought. That is
It's the thought that
exactly
counts.
it. So all you out there that think independent women, I was going to say some really rude
Yeah.
Stop myself, stop the Sue bomb. Like, it's not that deep. Like, it's not that, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, don't be put off by an independent woman. We're just trying to look after ourselves. Sometimes look after you.
Yeah, and in the long run, if you have kids with us, like, at least you know we've
got
got
our
this.
shit together.
We've got this. So really look at the bigger picture.
Like, what sort of things are an absolute, like, no for you, do you think?
Okay, so I can more than pay for myself. I
Yeah.
can, you know, go out on a date, pay for that date, and I'm more than happy to contribute. So I'm not saying this because I know there's a whole thing about paying on first dates and
See, I do have an opinion on that, but I'll let you talk.
of course she's got an opinion. But I think there's a level. So okay, so not necessarily saying you know, you need to take your tax on and spend 500 quid on a first date, because I don't expect that. That can be date 2.
Yeah. I'm like, you don't expect that. I do. No, I'm joking.
If you're going on a first date with a guy and you're going for food, look, I'm more than happy to split the bill, especially if it's like somewhere that's expensive and you've had food and drinks, or they pay for the food and you offer for the drinks.
I think, you know, like,
Contribute.
Contribute. Also, don't you think, don't you think it depends who asked who out?
There is that, because if they're like, let me take you for some food, let me take you
you
for some food.
And then they want you.
You're going to pay.
And then they want you to pay. I'm like, this wasn't even my idea.
I know, it's almost like you need a T's and C's before you go. I'd like
That's
to come.
what we're going to clear up, guys.
Yeah. What's the T's and C's? So maybe this is what we need to get out of today's episode.
Yeah.
What's the T's and C's? And before you go on the date, you can like indirectly kind of find out that info before you go. Because I'm sorry, but I went on a date, right? And
Story incoming.
honestly, I'm scarred for life.
So dramatic.
Literally, scarred for life. I went on a date and it was just one of them like very last minute things. It was a Sunday, it was chilled vibes.
Who asked who? The big question.
It was a kind of mutual decision
Okay.
of a Sunday. So we met like out on a night out. So it wasn't
On the
like
Saturday night.
no.
Oh, okay.
I think it was like the week before.
He was
Wasn't like on
trying
a
to see you.
yeah.
Trying to make it work.
Exactly. And it
And
wasn't
then
like
spur
a
of the moment.
dating app where you're like, or dating like that, where you're like, you know, working out first date, all that jazz. No, it wasn't one of them. It was like, yeah, we're just kind of re-meeting up in a sober environment as opposed to like meeting on a night out. And it was chilled vibes. And I think we were just like, okay, let's just go somewhere local. And I was like, so there's a Chinese restaurant near where I live, but it's like one of them ones where they will bring it out like what you want as you go kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it's really chilled vibes. I literally could go in a tracksuit. It's super chill. It's a Sunday, whatever. And the bill came, and I think it's only like £25 a hat. So the bill was like 50 quid. And maybe, I definitely had a soft drink. So, yeah. And when the guy came over, he was like, should we split the bill?
He asked you to split the bill.
And I literally wanted to I wanted the spring roll on the table to swallow me up.
But you'd already swallowed it.
But I already demolished it. I literally was like, as he's come over, because I've seen the receipt, and I'm like, 50 quid, like, look, you know. And he went, oh, yeah, should we just split it? And I've gone, yeah, like, I literally was speechless for the first time in 33 years of my
Wow,
life.
that's a lot.
That's a lot. But at that point, I was like, it ruined it for me because we got along well.
So did you ever see him again?
Yes.
So you gave him a second chance?
Because I get along with him and I'm attracted to him, and he's got nice morals and things like that. But for me, I remember
doing that thing that I do, where you're like, oh,
making excuses.
Making excuses.
When really I was fucking mortified. I was like, how on earth are you going to be able to afford me and my lifestyle if you cannot buy me a Chinese?
Yeah.
Chinese.
I'm there for it.
Like, and also, if I'm not worth for Chinese, but, you know, but I think, so I've pulled him up on it, we've had the conversation.
Oh, you pulled him up on
it?
it?
I pulled him up on it, not directly, like later on.
I was just about to say, was there a reason for him not being able to?
Yeah, so
was he a university student?
No.
Cougar.
Yeah, literally. No, I think he was of a similar age. He's got a big bugbear about like first date payments and things like that.
Okay.
And it's funny actually because he's actually been on a podcast recently, and I've seen him have this discussion, and it's so funny. I'm in the background like Chinese, Chinese.
Okay.
But he's got a bit of a bugbear about it, but obviously he took that to a whole different extreme. Like, bro, it's fucking 50 quid Chinese.
Yeah.
Like, come on. After that, it really did put me off, and I spoke to a couple of my friends, and one of my friends was like, absolutely not. And then one of my other friends, like, she kind of was like, you know, give him the benefit of the doubt. And I just, do you know what? I got along well with him. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. I am going to, like, kind of, to be honest, I just don't really think he took the whole thing seriously initially as well. And I think he was probably just a bit like, met her on that out, going for food.
Doing it to prove a point almost, like his opinion on splitting the bill.
Yes.
He was just doing it to prove a point.
Yeah. But it gave me the ultimate
absolute
ick. Icky. So another time, he then did take me on a date where he did pay. It was so funny when the fucking bill comes. I was literally like, I was like winding him up. And then as he come over and he's like, you know, trying to be all like man about it and stuff. And I was just like, oh God, awkward. But I don't think he would have fucking dared. But then it leads me on to like the next point because, well, I don't know if you've got anything to add to that, but I was going to say the next point is, but then you want to come to my house and you want me to, you know, host.
Yeah.
Like, if you're in my house, as you know, if you're here, I'm going to cook for you. I'm going to, you know, everything's yours.
Drinks,
go help yourself. Snack cupboard. 6 snack cupboard. Like, open the fridge, have what you want. So if you want to come into my home and have that kind of comfortability and have the whole hospitality.
And you're providing that.
And I'm providing, but you can't pay for my Chinese.
Yeah. So I think the whole paying for the Chinese and you giving him a chance, I would have done the same. Although it would have given me the ick, I think I would have given him the benefit of the doubt. Because there's also the flip side, you know, like, is he a serial dater and it's costing him an absolute fortune in dates? Do you know what I mean?
Maybe he's got a dating rule.
Maybe he's got a dating rule. Yeah,
We
you
do.
never know. Yeah, we do have a dating rule.
Yeah.
You never know. But I personally am very much a big believer in the traditional, as much as I'm a modern day independent woman. I like the traditional things. I like the fact that he wants to treat you.
Yes.
He wants to show you a good time.
Yes.
He wants to spend time with you. I just think it's not all about the money. Like you say, it was just a Chinese. It doesn't have to be Hakkasan. But I'm a big believer in the man kind of wanting to show you a good time.
And
hold
like
the door open for you.
Like
and
you're
just
valued.
Yeah. 9 times out of 10, as a woman, when you go on a date, if it was a nice date, you've probably put some effort in. You've got your makeup done or you bought a new outfit or And that's just because I'm a girl and I like to, take pride in my appearance, and that's a choice. Obviously, not everyone does that, but generally you'll have gone to some effort to go on that date, I think. And then the man, I'm not saying men don't put effort in either, but I mean, he'll put the effort in by, paying for your company.
Well, exactly. For me, it's not that I'm going to turn my nose up at someone that lives at home, but if I'm busting my gut to pay for my own place, I think more than anything, you at least could live with a friend or something like that.
Yeah.
So that of a man, I feel like they need that kind of authority, their own place.
Yeah.
And so because I do have my own place, I tend to meet people, and if they don't, there's an expectancy of them to come here.
Yeah.
And it's one of them bugbears for me, because it's is it just a convenience for you to come here? And it's fitting for you. Also, at what point are you then gonna, have that independence, make those steps yourself?
Yeah.
And then I just feel like there's a comfortability factor of it, where they just think that they can come here.
If they've got a plan, if you've openly spoken about a plan, for instance, he's saving to move out, or
Yes.
got something in the pipeline, you
Yes.
can kind of give it some time, can't you? But that's the whole dating thing, isn't it? Like what you say about the 3-month rule.
Exactly.
Another rule.
Lots of rules.
Lots of T's and C's. Within the first 3 months of dating someone, you'll get to know them, you'll get to see what they're about, and you kind of get to see little snippets of
Their
life. And so if they're telling you they've got, they're saving to move out, then and you see them physically saving and maybe asking you to split the bill.
Well, this is the thing.
They might be asking you to split the bill because they're saving.
Don't fucking give him excuses.
I'm
For fuck's sake, he's in the bin. Don't go
You're
back
in the bin.
Yeah, no, I know
But
what
do
you
you
mean.
see what I mean?
Yeah.
If you've openly spoken about those things, and obviously you can talk the talk, but you've got to see them walk the walk. That's
Yeah,
one of
100%.
my bugbears ever. When I'm dating someone, I need to see action, because everyone can say things
Spin
to
you a
impress you.
whole...
This is a whole
Yeah.
nother topic.
Yeah.
But, those first 3 months are really crucial. And
They
then,
are.
like you say, they could just be slobbing about on your sofa, and if you're not seeing any progress.
Well, this is the
or
thing. This is the thing.
ambition.
Initially, I understand that maybe they don't want to go for food because that's more expensive. So
Yeah.
maybe you meet for a coffee or a drink or something that's a little bit more chilled.
I know someone who has dates set out. So the first date will be a nice bar, cocktail bar.
Yeah.
Then the next one will be a cocktail bar, but where you can order little bits of food like tapas or sushi.
Okay.
And then the third date would be a meal, because by that point, he's a guy, by the way. So by that point, you'd know
Whether it's someone that you want to keep
it's someone
seeing,
who's worth.
or whether you want to pay the bill or split the bill.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But that's
I like
quite
that.
normal, isn't it?
I like that. I also quite like, this is just personally me, I would like to have something more adventure
An
in there.
activity, I was just about to say that.
Yeah, because activity dates are quite cheap, really. Think of crazy
golf.
golf or
Oh,
something.
I was going to say
I'm absolutely fucking shit at it, and I hate it every time because I know I'm going to lose and I'm so competitive. I prefer to go do trampolining and stop doing backflips or something.
Of course you do. I've done axe throwing once, and I literally hated every second of it because I was shit at it. Didn't want to talk to him on the way home.
Yeah, literally, just pass me the drink and I'll just get pissed.
Yeah,
and just throw them
no, you just
axes.
keep throwing those axes, showing off.
I'm really bad at that as well. Anything like that.
Good.
But, yeah. But any activity, then at least it's you have a couple of drinks while you're going around the
Yeah, and
activity.
it's a laugh.
It's probably going to cost you 60 quid.
Yeah.
It's not going to be massive amounts or whatever. And also you get our company as well.
Yeah, that's what it's all
priceless.
about, isn't it? Priceless. That's what I say to my mum all the time. I'm like, he wants the pleasure of my company. That's going to cost him a little bit.
I mean, this is what I mean. You'll be sitting at home. But yeah, so there's obviously kind of structure of a day, and I completely get all of that. But then there's kind of the dating rules of do's and don'ts on dates.
Yeah.
Sexual innuendos.
Oh.
Innuendos even.
Sometimes they can be a bit flirtatious.
Yeah.
And fun, not even funny, fun, I would say, a little
testing the
bit
waters a
oh
bit.
yeah, like that.
Yeah.
But then other times it's right, it's cringe now, stop it.
And I think there's that fine line as well when
Yeah,
they're
it's a
making
really fine
them.
line.
It's are you just trying to fucking get me home?
Yeah, that's exactly what you think.
Yeah, because
It's got to be tasteful.
100%. And I'm all up for a bit of banter, and I'm like, no filter.
A little bit of flirty, banter.
Yeah, exactly. But if you are trying to lead me back home and that's your only intention, then you can just get in the bin.
Yeah.
Like, you're fucking trash, bro. Like, no. Because...
Wrong girl.
Yeah, wrong girl. You're going to get headlocks. I'm not joking.
Oh, God. Choke slam. Incoming.
No, but obviously, you know, you've got to set your standards high, and I think this is again the fine line. There's a lot of the apps, there's a lot of people out there dating for fun, and that's where those first few
Which is so fine.
No, 100%, definitely. Like, everyone has needs, so it's fine, you know. But like, there's that fine line, isn't there? And that's where you've got to have your dating rules, because if he's dropping innuendos, wants to come back to yours, he ain't really going to pay for you on the date. Like, what fucking is this? I'm not an escort, bro.
He's going to get his leg over for free.
Yeah.
Split the bill and get his leg over.
Absolutely not. At least pretend you want to like me and wine and dine me.
Kiss me on the forehead occasionally.
Oh, he kissed me on my forehead.
I think he must like me.
Must like me. Affection. But yeah, so I think obviously there's all that side of things. And then kind of what other rules would you say?
One thing that I really don't like about when they talk about their ex on a first date.
The ex.
Yeah, that's just a no-go, isn't it? Like, I don't want to know about your ex on your first date. Like, we've all got a past.
Yeah.
Not on the first date.
Okay, so what if, so it's not that necessarily the ex, but it's the mother of their child, and they've got a child.
Yeah, obviously that is a grey area. You kind of have to, don't you? What if they don't tell you about the child on the first date? That's a no. Yes, same.
I've had that.
That's weird.
Yeah, because it's like, well, I was going to find out.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty big thing.
Yeah, it's a big deal. How are you going to slot that
in? The whole
in?
human in your life. Like, I need to know from the get-go, you know?
I think first dates, you do kind of try to impress.
Yes.
You do, but then there's a boundary of impressing and lying.
Yeah. Yeah, my friend was dating someone recently, and literally it was a real whirlwind of a few dates, and he literally filled her head with so much stuff, and she's not silly, like, but he did spin it because he told her everything she wanted to hear and more, plus a few more on top. And it was like one date, another date, and it was, you know, doing all the whole like, oh, I don't want to chat to anyone else, and she was like, well, obviously you're entitled to, like, it's not really that kind of thing. Like, we've only had the first few dates. And it went all so fast. Then she ended up going on a night out where the ex ended up on the night out. It was all so dramatic.
Wow.
And long story short, he just massively, like, gaslighted her with so many different, like, things. And then, but fair play to him, he then obviously thought, can't keep up to this. 3-month rule.
Yeah.
Can't keep up to this. After 3 months, you can't keep blagging them. Like, you can't blag it past 3 months. The cracks are going to show. Yeah. So give yourself a 3-month rule before, you know, you get into that serious stage. Give yourself a 3-month rule. And within like a few weeks, he turned around to her. And fair play to him, but it's probably just because he couldn't keep up to it. He was like, oh, you know what? You're a really lovely girl. You've got a really good career ahead of you. And what happened the other night is generally my life. Because at first he made out that because there was loads of dramas, and he was like, oh, you know, I'm really sorry, like, that's not what normally would go on. Then he owned it and was like, that's kind of what, like, basically as the ex.
If you're into that, then welcome on board. But if that's too much for you, then leave now.
And kind of went, so I just think it's best to leave it here.
Oh, he said
and so, no. And I was like, do you know what? Fair play. But obviously, back to what you said, he just sugarcoated so much bullshit. Why don't you just relax, bro? Like, just chill with it.
Trying to say all the right things that he thought that she wanted to hear.
And he did it.
Yeah, where actually, if he'd have just been a bit more himself, she'd have worked it all out anyway, and then she'd have ghosted him.
But, but she was fuming about the message, but I was like, no, I actually respect that he said that, because he could have ghosted you.
Yeah.
And... you know,
I've been like strung along for like 6 months in someone's like lies and stuff, and then the cracks probably,
so am I.
probably longer. The cracks did start to appear after 3 months, but
Obviously,
think
we
I was a
ignored
little
them.
bit- Yeah,
It
red
was
flags.
naive.
Oh,
Red
it's
flag, love them. Carnival. Circus. Red flags, give us a few more. Let's heal you, bro.
I'm gonna save you.
Oh,
But you know what I
God.
mean? It does happen.
Of course it does. This is why we're here to talk about it.
Yeah.
So that you lot identify the red
Take
flags. No more carnivals.
As soon as you realise that he's lied about one of those things, though, red flag. Mm-hmm. Like that's the point, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
So you say you know, openly speak about yourself, get to know them, and then once you realise that they're not quite as squeaky clean, that's when you get out. Well, that's when you should get out.
That's when you should. It's when you probably won't, but that's fine. We all make mistakes.
Yeah.
But no, and I think it's just going back to the whole like knowing your worth, being the independent woman that you are. Knowing your worth like is something that I have definitely learned over the past year to 2 years.
Same. That's exactly the same timeline I was going to use.
It's just it's mad, isn't it? How you just like boundaries. And you just set there, and this is when people say to me, like, why are you single? I'm single because I won't put up with shit. Like, I won't put up with it. I know my worth. And the second you set those boundaries, you're just not going to let those little shitbags in your life.
Yeah,
but then
I
there's
totally
also
agree.
an element of when you are single and you're not looking for anything serious. Like, yes, you do overlook those things, but you're probably just overlooking them because actually you just want fun as well.
It's just fun as well, yeah.
So
exactly.
that's also okay.
Yeah.
But we're talking about if we're dating for dating something serious
Of
here.
course, yeah.
And having independent women, but also independent men and the non-negotiables. So, yeah.
I think the independent woman thing, like dating as an independent woman for me, is about finding someone to match you. So even if it's not necessarily about the material things like what you said earlier, it is about someone who can match your lifestyle, match your ambition, match your drive.
Yeah.
And then obviously, so if you're dating someone in the early stages and they're asking you to split the bill for whatever reason it is, just referring back to that. Is there a reason? If there is a reason, can you go along with that? For instance, I said about the university thing, like what if they were studying
Then
to better their life?
Exactly.
Are you willing to accept that and maybe bring your expectations down?
Yes.
To go along with it, which I think is something then if it gets serious past the 3-month rule, then you have to have those
of course.
those thoughts and conversations, don't you? So I think it's about matching the expectations when you're dating, for me personally.
Yeah, no, I completely agree, definitely. Yeah, that's a really interesting way of looking at it because, of course, you can go through life where you're building businesses or, there's ups and downs, isn't there? It's never going to be plain sailing and you're here to kind of work together, but it's identifying that at the beginning, isn't it?
Exactly.
Are you taking the piss out of me and you don't think I'm worth Chinese?
Yeah.
Or are you studying? Like, literally, if I'm not worth spring roll...
Are you just sofa surfing and drinking on my Capri Sun?
You're in my fridge, but you haven't paid for my spring rolls. What the fuck? Like, you think you can come here, sofa surf, get in that snack cupboard, but... You can't pay for spring rolls.
Because he wants that snack.
Hey! Well, he's not getting that snack. But yeah, I think let's talk about like red flags on dates. Like, all right, I have one straight away. Dirty trainers.
Yeah.
Dirty trainers, non-negotiable. If you can't even so much as put your trainers in the washing machine,
just wipe them over with a
clean
wet
them,
wipe.
wipe them, baby wipes.
Yeah.
Don't come to me with them dirty trainers. It's a red flag, ultimate ick, and you're going to end up in the bin with your shoes.
Yeah.
With your trainers. In the bin.
It's got to be bad breath for me.
Oh!
Bad breath. It's just the worst.
I mean, that's just...
I know, and I know it happens, but if you're on a first date, you should be really conscious about that.
Hygiene.
Of your
Don't come to me with your
oral
teacher's
hygiene.
breath.
You're in a working day drinking coffee. Just brush your teeth before you come on a
Or
date, or
use-
chew chewing gum.
Or use one of
mouthwash.
them things.
Oh,
I was speaking to someone.
what's it called? A water
A
floss?
water pick.
A water pick.
Yeah. I don't know if you know about the water picks, but They basically like shoots water through the gaps of your just through your teeth.
Like flossing, but with water. It's like a machine that flosses for you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Game changer.
Literally.
By the way.
And
FYI.
someone was saying that.
Colgate, like Brandhill incoming.
Yeah, literally. Toothbrush, toothpicks. Someone was saying that like they knew someone that literally had the worst breath.
Halitosis.
Yeah. And like basically they got him to use this water pick and then literally bits of steak.
This is
minion.
If someone's married or dating this guy, it's scary.
And he's got fucking like fermented steak breath. Imagine he was dating a vegan. Anyway,
little does she know she's getting me.
Literally, the water thing. Basically, started using that, and it literally cleared.
Game changer. It does.
Game changer. So yeah. So okay. So dirty trainers. This is all cleanliness.
Yeah.
Dirty trainers.
Yeah.
Bad breath. Like smell as well. Like,
Yeah,
you need to
you
smell
want
sexy
a really
when
nice.
I hug you.
Yeah, definitely aftershave.
Yeah.
Also, that is like a lingering. It's like a little memory that you take away from a good date, isn't it? If they've got a good smell and they've made a really good impression, and then obviously you do the whatever, you hug, you kiss on a first date. That's up to you. You know, look, cheeky snog if they're good.
Snog-a-thon.
Pay for your dinner.
Snog-a-thon.
If they pay for your dinner, I'll give them a cheeky snog.
Is that your rule? 1 meal equals 1 snog. For anybody watching. It's a rule. You all know mine. You know.
But yeah, and then obviously you go away and then you've still got the lingering smell of their aftershave. It's like the best thing ever, isn't it?
Sexy.
Yeah, really sexy.
So cleanliness. Okay,
Yeah.
some other red flags. So you said not about talking about the ex.
Yeah, not talking about their ex.
For me, I just think like if you don't have any ambition, but
that is one of mine as well. I can't believe we didn't think about that.
Of course, we're one person.
We're the same.
We're the same. We got this one. You take us both.
Yeah.
Oi. Double snog-a-thon. 3-way. I'm joking. Yeah, like ambition. So like it doesn't matter what career you in, what career you are in. But if you're not ambitious, then like where's this going? You know, like I need to know, like your ambition could be whatever that is, but just kind of be open to chat about these things. And to me, just having that
some
kind
drive.
of drive.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
But I guess that goes back to kind of like feeling stimulated, feeling kind of excited through conversations and because if someone was really ambitious and they had like plans and ideas, but they maybe was like still studying or, you know, wasn't in the best financial position, but they'd moved home because they had all these ambitions. Yeah. Then
you can let it slide. Yeah, I agree.
Do you know what I mean? You've got businesses or whatever, but
you can see them working towards these goals that they've told you that they they want to achieve. That's totally that's a yes for me. Yeah. I love that. I like to see someone working towards goals and aspirations. You could be the most successful person in the world, but I'm sure there's still something that you want to do and want to give back.
Hobbies or giving back or definitely. 100%. I think that's a given. Any other red flags or should we talk about gold stars?
If someone has like zero chat. Zero chat. I mean, I don't even know how I've even gone on dates with people that have got zero chat, because how have we even got to that stage? But I have gone on dates with people where I really lead the conversation. I'm just like, okay, I'm bored now. Yeah. It's hard. The whole date's really hard work for me. I know it doesn't seem like it, but I'm like,
questionnaire.
There's nothing
back. Just keep asking questions and they're like, no. Yeah. It's like, not a fucking questionnaire, bro. Yeah. Like, let's get to know each other. Like, Jesus. Yeah. Anything else? Someone who drinks a lot. How would you identify that? Because you're probably going to drink on the day. Necking back like beers on the day. So the speed of the drinking, guys. No, but that's... No, I do know what you mean. That could be a red flag for other things. I'll just be like, are you okay? Are you nervous? Yeah. But you'd identify if they were nervous or they're just getting really drunk. Yeah. Oh, yeah, like if they got... Yeah. Yeah, do you know what I mean? If they're getting really drunk on the first day. Yeah. Like, that's not a good look, is it? It's triggering a memory in my it's triggering a memory in my head.
Someone that you like? What you on a date or someone you dated?
On a date with someone, yeah, and yeah, they were definitely
I've gone on
unstable
dates
in
with
that
people
area.
where they've got really drunk, and I'm like, wow, no. I'm
Yeah,
not
it was a lot. It was midweek and it was early as
Yeah,
well.
this is what I mean.
And I'm
That would
like,
be a
it's
red flag for
Wednesday
me.
at 5 o'clock, and we just met like after work, and it was like Wednesday at 5 o'clock, and I was like, wow.
Wow, yeah.
And then he got aggressive, like he had aggressive like tendencies, and he was making like comments.
Oh, yeah,
and
I hate that.
like paranoid, like passive aggressive kind of comments.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, it's a first date. Could you imagine?
Yeah.
And I was just like, wow.
Yeah.
But you know what? The date was so amazing ahead of that. He was really good looking for a start.
Yeah.
He had a really great career. He also did loads of like charity work.
Yeah.
And it was really amazing. Like we spoke about it in so much detail. And he had like hobbies. Do you know what? He ticks so many boxes. I definitely did mess with my friend and we like met my future husband.
Before he necked way too many beers.
Then he got
aggressive.
pissed and then he was passive aggressive and I was like, that's why you're
Yeah.
single. But then you can't say that because, like, obviously some people are just
people
single.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that would be.
Yeah.
That would
So I
be
do
a
know
no
what you
for
mean.
me,
I was
yeah.
like, what do you mean drinking too
No,
fast?
yeah,
and I'm like,
you
no,
know
what you mean.
what I mean. Like, it's not about necessarily the drinking too fast. It was like if they're drinking
The
a
whole,
lot
like,
in a short space of time
yeah. Yeah.
on a midweek at 4 o'clock in the
Yeah.
afternoon. There's a fine line between being nervous and then getting wrecked.
And he knew the next day as well because he then left his key in my bag or something
God, so you had
like
to see him
that.
again.
And so, yeah, or he thought he'd left his key in my bag. That was it, but but actually he didn't have it. I didn't have it. And then the next day he was like, so he was ringing me. But obviously I was
You
like,
was
oh,
like,
shit.
yeah,
And then
yeah,
I was
ignore
literally
it.
like, is he ringing me because he's literally a psycho or is he ringing me like, I just ignored it. Then he
Yeah.
started saying about the key thing. I do not have it. But then he kept ringing me. And I was like, because he was pissed. He wasn't obviously listening. Anyway, must got his
So you're
flatmate.
still drunk?
This was on the night.
Oh, that
after
evening.
the day,
Sorry,
yeah,
I thought you
'cause
meant the next day.
No,
was
I
like,
went home. Yeah, still pissed. Breakfast.
He's got a problem.
Got a problem. Houston, we got a problem. And then and then the next day, so I just ignored him. And then the next day, he's like, still messaged me, like, apologising. So it was really out of his character. I thought, yeah. Pull the other
that
one,
old
dickhead.
chestnut.
Like, I'm not fucking 12 anymore. I'm not here trying to heal you. Like, literally. I know.
I mean, I was thinking, like,
Can you heal him?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he went through my head. I thought, you tick loads of boxes. Why are you
Fix
like,
up.
fix up? Come back to me. Go to AA and come back. Like. So, yeah. Anyway, that's where we're up to with that. So, moving forwards, I think we've identified red flags. Shall we talk about, like, rules of, like, and they can come back to yours when, you know, the snogathon moves on.
oh, the snogathons. Yay.
How many times would you date someone before you say, like, invite them back in your house, or what would you do?
I generally have a 3-date rule.
Yeah.
Because I think by 3 dates, you should generally feel comfortable around someone.
Or you should bin them.
Or you should bin them, yeah, because you'll know then if, you know, like inviting someone back to your house is a very personal thing. It puts you in a position.
Danger.
Yeah. Danger zone. Well, you
Danger.
know, like you wouldn't invite that guy back to your house because you said it actually was a lot and it was quite scary. So what I'm saying, by 3 dates, you should know someone. You'll know whether you want them to know where you live. That's for me a big thing. So I'm like, once they know where you live, they can turn up outside your house.
Yeah.
Stalkers.
God's sake. Definitely.
So yeah, I think 3-date rule before you trust them enough to bring them back to your house.
Mm-hmm.
And then where it goes from there is completely up to you. It depends if you like them, innit? It's good
Ah.
chemistry.
I would probably say the same. I feel like if people do try to come back like sooner, but I think that's right because I wouldn't date someone longer than 3 dates unless I saw
Unless
that
you saw a
future
future.
dates.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same.
So yeah, definitely. And I think with that, you know, whatever happens then. And I think that's just like natural. You know, another thing for me as well, if you go on a date and like it's like first date and they don't just try it with you straight away, because you know, like the end of a date, sometimes people like they're trying it, or you're just like, wow. Like, just chill. Like, let's just go with this. Again, that just boils down to maybe they're only on that date for one thing.
Yeah.
So I think you've really got to set them boundaries. Dates, you know when they can come back, know whether you're gelling, know whether you feel comfortable.
Yeah. So just bringing it back to the independent woman topic that we spoke about at the beginning, like men being slightly intimidated by independent women. Do we think that that's because obviously in this day and age there's a massive presence with, you know, women and men being equal, you know, feminism and all of that, you know,
100%.
like being, we want to be treated as equals, we want equal pay and all of this. But then on the flip side, so for instance, a guy might be dating a woman who is, you know, a true feminist through and through. She wants to go halves on the date. She might even want to pay for the date. She might not want the man to hold the door open for her. Like, there are girls out there that are women out there who definitely feel strongly about those things. And then obviously there's women like us who just kind of I personally think if they pay for your dinner or ask you out or take you out or do nice things for you, then it shows that they do want to spend time with you. They have respect for you rather than just making you go halves on Chinese just to get your leg over. Do you know what I mean? Like, they want to get there's more to it than just getting your leg over sometimes, isn't it? So I think
Hey, comfy Marley.
Men's, that might be quite confusing for them.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's maybe where it comes in with they're a little bit, maybe not so intimidated by the independent woman. They genuinely don't know where they stand.
Yeah, so then maybe, you know, you need to set those expectations from early and be maybe just a little bit more clearer about your intentions, their intentions, do's and don'ts.
Yeah, like, do's and don'ts.
You kind of like...
The dating T's and C's.
Dating T's and C's. It's a thing. It's a thing. Yeah, the sort of do's and don'ts, etc. Because I think at the end of the day, look, you know, we're independent, we're strong women, but, you know, we're more like if you show me that level of respect and if you sort of are open to pay for what I need, I don't know, those first few dates, look, after that, like, my house is your house, you know, you're welcome. I'm going to cook for you, I'm going to clean for you. Like, when you're here, you're going to be waited on, you know, until it gets to that
you
kind
are
of...
the hostess for the mostess. 100%,
I am, yeah, and I want to do that. But if you can't show me those levels of, like, it's almost respect. For me, it's respect.
Matching respect, yeah.
That's at the beginning, then, you know, how are we going to progress from this? And it's kind of going to give me the ick for sure. And it's going to make me question, like, your intentions.
I think it does just make you question their intentions. Yeah. 100%. I strongly agree with that, yeah.
So I just think from those, like, you know, from those kind of perspectives, like, just maybe just be a little bit clearer.
Yeah. All about communication, which is you know, that's the key to a successful relationship in the long run anyway, really isn't it? So communication, you've got to get that communication in early on for it to even be successful further down the line.
100%. And I think back to the kind of independent woman thing, you know, look, don't get me wrong, I love to be an independent woman, but I also love to have someone that wants to be able to just do nice things, you know,
take care of
me, open a door for me, like, you know, check in on me, remember certain things. It doesn't take a lot and it doesn't cost a thing for those.
It's not all just monetary things, is
no,
it?
Absolutely not. Like, the attention to detail for me, like, for example, if I've had like a meeting or something, you know, like, ask me how it went. Those little things for me, oh my God, they mean so much. So yes, we're independent, and maybe the dominating personality of these types of independent women, like myself, like Charlie, and like thousands and millions of other independent women out there, we salute you. But actually, you know,
the struggle is real.
The struggle is real, and really, you know, I'm laid here on the sofa on a night, like, you know, kind of, I would like those little check-ins.
Yeah, I agree. I even like it if a man books the table. Like,
I love that.
that's
Take
just the best
control.
thing. Take control.
Take control, because
And it means he really wants to go and he really wants to take you out.
Yes.
He's like gone to the effort to book the table.
That is a
Yeah,
big
it's
thing
the
for me.
best.
If they just take control, like, what's your kind of favourite food? You say, and they're like, cool, I'll book somewhere. I'll pick you up this time.
Yeah.
That for me, I'm like, perfect.
Yeah,
Or
love
meet
that.
me here this time if you don't
Yeah.
want them to obviously come to yours or
Yeah,
whatever.
don't want him to know where I live.
Yeah. But yeah, I think kind of we probably covered like lots of different topics there. So obviously independent women,
Yeah.
things dating, do's
We're
and
here for you,
don'ts.
ladies. We're here for
We
you.
are here for you. But also men, if you don't listen to this and you can't bag yourself a woman, then you need to get in the bin. Because we've given you the T's and C's. We've given you the do's and don'ts. We've given you the 3-date rule. We've
Yeah.
given you the 3-month
Month
rule.
rule. 3 is a magic number by the sounds of it.
It is.
It
So,
really is.
yeah, I think that's probably everything from us on episode 1.
Yeah.
Hope you've enjoyed it. Please like, please subscribe, please continue to follow us.
And hit us up with any other topics that you want us to cover.
Yeah.
Because I think that was a really good one.
Yeah.
Really good that everyone can learn from that. So,
Yeah, thank you for listening to
Are They
Trash?
This is Frankie and Charlee. And I am Charlie House. And you are now listening to our podcast,